Do you ever just have like an incredibly mediocre month of reading, and but the month prior was like awesome? That's like my August right now. It's August 24th, and July was awesome, and August is just incredibly underwhelming. So I'm gonna recap what I read in July and give you the best ones first, and then save the worst ones for last. Here we go. Starting with The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. So if you don't know, Pulitzer Prize winning book. My friend gave me it. This thing's like a weapon. I don't love large books, but it's like 771 pages. It's the longest book I've ever read, I'm pretty sure. But it was great. It's basically like think like a coming of age story. There's a lot of drugs in it. It's set in New York City. A boy, 12 or 13 years old, loses his mother, and that just intertwines him with like 6 or 8 people as they get, going throughout their lives and as they grow up. Really, really good. I don't want to say much more than that. Tragic accident in the first part of the book with his mom, and then just the interwoven plot lines I think really hit for me. And if you don't mind lengthy books, or like me, willing to try it, give this one a shot. This is 13 Reasons Why. This was on an update video I had a couple videos ago. Yeah, I mean, it's about a girl taking her own life. So if that is a trigger, don't read the book. But basically, it hit me in a place that I don't know if it would have hit me in that spot maybe 10, 15 years ago. But it did. Very, tough at times to read. She takes her life, and the 13 reasons are put into cassette tapes that she sends out to people to know that there are a reason why she did what she did. And it's intentionally dated with the cassette tapes. Even when this was written, it was dated on purpose, so the person would have to like manually put in the cassette tape and figure out why they were a reason. It hit me in a really like in the feels, I guess. And I recommend it if that doesn't bother you. Sticking on the YA front here is this one's quick. This is the Scythe. I think a lot of people have read this. This is recommended to me by a friend. And dystopian YA. There's 4 books. Basically, scythes are there to kill people. The population is getting out of control because we basically mastered the art of living forever. No one dies unless you're killed by a scythe. So it follows 2 teenage characters that become scythe, and they're apprenticing to be scythes. And there's 3 more books. If that sounds interesting, I'll give it a shot. There's 3 more. I'm gonna read them. This is a little bit of a sad story. This is Chess Story by Stefan Zweig. The story of the author is sad because the author took his life, and that's not like a theme that I'm intentionally doing. It's a very short book. It's like 85 pages or something. It's literally like a story, like a chess story. And there's this guy on a ship who, was in a terrible situation. He meets this, like, basically grandmaster of chess, if that's the equivalent of this book. And they go at it, like in chess, on the ship. And the past trauma from the guy is narrated through somebody else. So we're seeing it kind of in like a third person limited, I guess, narration. And then the chess master is kind of touched upon, but you clearly see what the book, like what the message of the book is. And I think it's really, really well done. Again, I can't say much about it. It's 80 pages. But if you like literary fiction, which is my favorite, I think that this is something you would enjoy. All right, kind of sticking with like a post-apocalyptic. This is The Death of Grass by John Christopher. So funny enough, this was actually recommended by a booktuber who had never read the book. She was just, I don't know, like at first I thought it was weird, but she was recommending books that she hadn't read just based on the genre. She just like looked them up. I don't know, but like it was a great book. So it's about a guy who gets a tip from his brother. So literally the death of grass, like grass dies across the world, right? Like it's done. And the ramifications of that are dire if you are nerdy about grass. And if you're not nerdy about grass, I learned through the book why that situation would be dire. But it's about a guy who's got a tip from his farmer brother. And his farmer brother says, hey, if stuff really hits the fan, come to my place. So this guy remembers that, and the phones are down, they can't call, but he takes himself and his family across like London, and stuff starts to get messy, and it's kind of like a story of humanity or the lack thereof, or the good parts and the bad parts as they're doing their traveling to meet, with the brother, hopefully, at his basically compound, because there's only one way in and one way out. So really gripping story. Again, not long, 200 some odd pages. No, not even, under 200 pages. I really recommend it. Thank you to whatever, I don't remember who she was, but like whatever booktuber recommended this, who had never read it, maybe she should read it because it was great. Moving on. All right, and the last one I really want to recommend is maybe my favorite of the month. I don't really know. It's hard. I need time to like process how much I like these books. You know, it's like I can't just say it's 5 stars like right away. I have to kind of like let it marinate a bit. But this is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by Ken Casey. So obviously it's a classic. I loved it. It's about a mental asylum, kind of after all the cruel stuff was happening, but still some stuff is going on. So this guy whose name is McMurphy, I think. Yeah, Patrick McMurphy, the brawling, fun-loving new inmate who resolves to oppose, like, this, they call her the big nurse. I don't think she's literally big, it's just she's, like, the power, the authority. And he's, like, the hero of the story, and he makes everybody better in the book. Very uplifting, very sad and tragic book, though. And without, like, ruining anything, there's a lot of characters in here, a lot of kind of twists, but I wouldn't call it a thriller, I would call it literary fiction, and very much a classic for a reason. I don't think it's not one of those classics that's like not readable. Like it's very, very readable if you're kind of wary of it for that reason. And I kept thinking like we need to all be more like McMurphy, basically. Like he was like someone that I really looked up to in this book, and it's probably a book that I'd read again, you know, in a couple years or something like that. Real quick, in July, the books I did not finish is also like an update. I did not finish The Book of Magic by Alice Hoffman. I thought that was just like a literal like summary of what the first 3 books in the Practical Magic series were, and I hated it. I couldn't, like, I hate when you're just telling me what happened over books I've already read, so I got rid of that one. The other one was The Book of Dust by Philip Pullman. This book is one of my favorites, The Golden Compass, and so it really pained me to like, just The Book of Dust it was like a prequel or like a sequel, it was a prequel, where Lyra in this book is a baby, and it was like new characters, they weren't interesting, and I mean that was disappointing because I loved the trilogy that much. At the outset, I said that I'd save the bad for last. I guess like I kind of lied, but this is Into Thin Air by Jon Krakauer. It's a real-time account of Everest, and the 1996 Everest, which is one of the most deadliest years on that mountain. And Jon Krakauer wrote Into the Wild, which I loved. Different story. I recommend that one. This one is kind of like, if you're like nerdy about like mountain stuff, or you lived through it like me, like I was just a kid, but like I remember the story being on the news, maybe it's worth a read. I mean, there's some dry parts in the beginning, and it's a little bit longer than I would have liked, but it is a true story, and it is interesting, so it's one of those things that if it interests you more than it does me, you'd probably like it more than I did. I mean, I know it's obvious, but, you know, I'm just saying, like, solidly written book. So yeah, so that's kind of it. That's my July wrap. I'm going to try to make the rest of August, it's like a week left, better. But I don't know. I mean, I'm just kind of reading books I've never really heard of or that are just kind of random to me, try to mix it up. And I'm reading one I really like now called Annie-Bot. And I'll give an update when I'm done with that book, but we'll go from there. See ya. Bye.